Single-payer healthcare is a simple concept, really, and Medicare for All is a snappy name. People in Congress have been slapping the name Medicare for All on a lot of different bills, and most of them are crap. I do like the Jayapal bill, I do like Bernie's bill in the Senate, but the other ones use the name and they put it on top of crap. So here are the things that we must demand no matter who is in Congress. Comprehensive coverage for all medical services and treatments, including long-term care, at all providers for all people in America, regardless of citizenship. Care that is free at the point of service with no cost sharing, and a jobs initiative and severance pay for those affected by the transition. Now, I'm here because I know that the American healthcare system is not built to improve health, but to create profit. And I have only a few minutes, so I'd like to talk instead about health justice. And I'd like to draw from the words of Tim Faust, who is a DSA member, whose work on health justice is what drives me to fight for single-payer healthcare. If people are suffering because they don't have a place to live, or if the places they live are unsafe, then housing is healthcare. And you build housing to bring healthcare costs down. If people are suffering because they don't have healthy food to eat, and they're getting diabetes or cardiac failure, then food is healthcare. And you provide them with affordable or free food options to bring healthcare costs down. If people are suffering because they don't have needle exchange programs, therapy, or counseling, then rehabilitation is healthcare. And you build addiction treatment programs to bring healthcare costs down. Single payer is not the goal, single payer is the tool. Health justice is the goal. And when we fight for health justice, we fight side by side, because economic justice is health justice. Environmental justice is health justice. Reproductive justice for people who don't want to reproduce and for people who do is health justice. And justice for Black lives, justice for brown lives, justice for trans lives, justice for the lives of immigrants, justice for people in prison, and the well-being of all people, regardless of age, gender, race, or creed, is health justice. Our health is tied to enormous systems like structural poverty and colonialism, and these types of problems are fundamentally tied to capitalism, a system that relies on the oppression and exploitation of billions of people so that a few people can live in luxury. When we fight for health justice, we fight against capitalism, and capitalism is already waging a war against us. Every time the insiders, the well-meaning people in Congress, the well-meaning union or nonprofit leaders have taken on the insurance industry, they've lost. They lost in the 40s, they lost in the 60s, they lost in the 70s, they lost a few times in the 90s, they lost in the 2000s. Right now, as was mentioned before, Kurt Schrader is not even one of those well-meaning politicians. He thinks that Medicare for All is not practical. But, yeah, exactly. But when the insiders lose, they still survive. The people who suffer are the people in Section 8 housing, or without any housing at all. People in prison, people who live near polluting industries, people with disabilities forced out of their homes, poor mothers and poor children, people forced to flee their home countries only to find themselves hunted by ICE in America, not sure if they'll be deported if they go to a hospital. We feel the stakes of this fight in a way that those insiders can't. We must build the massive popular movement that demands health justice. We must identify what battles we can win and win them. We must demand and create not policy tweak incrementalism, but material relief and redistributive reforms. I don't know what the revolution looks like, but I know it will require massive mobilization, like what we saw in San Antonio to win paid sick leave, like what we saw in San Francisco to win the right for counsel for tenants facing eviction, what we saw in Idaho to win a Medicaid expansion. We build solidarity so that we can build power. Do not go home today without talking to the organizers who are here. We all have ways to help you fight for single-payer healthcare. 18 months ago, I was confused and scared, and I didn't know how to fight back, but then I started organizing with tens of thousands of others in DSA. We are always learning from one another and fighting on all fronts to build a better world for everyday people like you and me. Right on. We would be more than happy to get you involved, no matter how much time you have to spare, even if you're worried you don't know where to start. I didn't know where to start 18 months ago either. Friends, single payer is moral, single payer is necessary, and single payer is achievable. Solidarity now and solidarity forever.